Hello everyone, welcome back to Tina Teach. Today's lesson with JavaScript 101, we're going to explore data types. Okay, we have 8 data types that I'm going to mention in this lesson that is built into JavaScript, meaning the moment you put it in your syntax using the keywords, JavaScript understands and will work accordingly. We have string, which is text, number, integers, right? Big int or big integer, boolean for true and false, undefined as in you don't have the value yet. It's like declaring a variable but you have not assigned it any value, so that variable is undefined. Null is basically empty. Okay, null is a little bit different from undefined. Null, you still have a value, but that value is empty, right? It's like having an empty box. Undefined is having no box at all. Simple and object, okay? I'm just going to mention these, but they're not, very common in use when you're just starting out. Now, alongside built-in data types, we have user-defined data types. These are the ones that you have to put in your own information and you have to manually define them quite extensively, right? Otherwise, JavaScript doesn't know what to do with them because they're not built in. And the popular ones, you would have objects, arrays, and sets. Okay, there are many more, such as dates, map, interarrays, or integer arrays, float arrays, or just float decimal numbers, and many more. But just starting out, and even as you reach JavaScript mastery, and even in a lot of other languages like Python, objects, arrays, and sets, they're quite ubiquitous. Okay, you can't really do much without them. Now, I'm going to show you some examples of these datas. Numbers, they're whole numbers, naturally. Strings, text, any sort of text, you can make a number a string if you put them in between these two quotes, right? Double quotes or single quotes, depends on you. Booleans, true or false. And then this is an example of an object. An object has properties like real life objects would. If you have a cup of water, the property may be, the content of that cup, which is water, the color, which is colorless, material may be glass, right? And here I have an object defining person. First name James, last name Brown. An object can be as extensive as you want it to be. There are no restrictions so far as long as you follow the syntax of having the pair of keyword and then value, okay? Right, property name and then value. Property name, value, that's it. And then dynamic. What do I mean by dynamic? JavaScript has dynamic types, meaning the same variable can hold many data types, unlike some languages that specifically require you to only hold a certain data type for a variable, right? So if you declare a variable a string, you can only assign strings and nothing else. But JavaScript is not like that at all. A single variable, a for example, can hold an integer, a character, a string, or a boolean, or just any values you want it to be, unless you use a keyword that declare a variable immutable, as in you cannot change value at a later date, but that's a different thing. Moving on to exponential notation. So this is just a convenient way for you to assign extra large or small numbers using scientific notation, as you can see here with E6 and E-4. Moving on to arrays, okay? Arrays are syntaxed with square brackets, and the items are separated by the comma, okay? And arrays are just, a list of items, unlike an object, which has properties and values. One thing to keep in mind that if you were to refer to the items of an array through indexes, the first item is not 1, it starts with 0. So if you count, right, or use methods that count the number of items in an array, 1, 2, 3, it's going to give you 3. But if you want to change the value of the first item, let's say, you must say index 0, 1, and 2. That is something that you do need to keep in mind when you're working with arrays. Moving on to objects, a little bit of depth. Objects are written with curly braces. If you've noticed with our previous example, the properties are written as name and value pairs. Name, value, name, value, name, value. And I just want to mention that an object is not constrained by data type, okay? You can put string, integer, float, boolean, whatever you need an object to have the property of is not constrained by data type whatsoever, since JavaScript is dynamic. Now, last but not least, with the type of operator. This operator returns the type of a variable or an expression, or the output of an expression, okay? Not necessarily the expression itself. Type of, this will give us null, because it's empty. We don't have anything in it. Empty will give us string, 45, string, integer, boolean, and float. That's it for today's lesson. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and stay tuned. Have a wonderful day.